We're back here at Woods Off-Road in San Marcos, California. We're gonna finish the LS swap on my Cherokee Chief here. We got the crew from Holmes Fabrication, Filthy Addiction Off-Road. We've got to finish up a few things under the hood, plug in the Holley Terminator X wiring harness, finish up wiring our Dakota digital gauges, and then we'll go underneath, finish up the transmission mount, get the T-case on, plumb for fuel, build an exhaust, and hopefully fire it up. It's gonna be awesome. Let's get going. I read on the internet that if I use these flop shop motor mounts, the rumor was that they position an LS perfectly in an FSJ chassis, and if you use the 4L60 with the advanced adapters adapter, it would all bolt in, and it's kind of looking like the rumor's true, because we've got everything bolted in, just put the new transmission mount on here, and I can see right up through the original holes. They held the Turbo 400 in there. That's like 2 minutes with the die grinder and we're home. That's crazy, man.
The firewall on the Chief is flat. The pedal that we got for the fly-by-wire pedal, the bracket doesn't necessarily fit too well. Instead of making a bracket on the plasma table and I have to go and bend it and all this stuff, instead we're gonna make spacers and just space it off the firewall. Much easier, and it's gonna look very pretty even though nobody's gonna see it.
These move so much air. If you can fit it, I always prefer a manual fan. Nice fit.
We're gonna take this wiring harness that we made extra long on purpose, and we're gonna feed it over to the dash side. And then these are gonna meet up with our 2 connectors we made yesterday. We're gonna plug them in. And now we are wired to the Dakota Digital. We're gonna plug in our main plugs. Now on a Holley Terminator, they're all keyed. They only plug into one place.
I don't have any use for this, and old AMCs don't die, they just go off to a new home. So Chad, who's a buddy of Corey's, is gonna take this and put it in his 67 Gladiator. So it's gonna stay in an AMC pickup, going in a different full-size Jeep. So we're gonna be recycling all the AMC stuff we took out of this FSJ in different vehicles. Johnny's gonna put the adapter spud shaft in, and then we put the bearing on. Now we're just gonna lay a bead of silicone once he taps that in the bore, and we can put the quadra-track on there. Sweet, like butter. This is the original fuel tank bracket, and we don't need it anymore because I've got the tank in the rear now. And we will most likely run the exhaust down this side. So we're gonna cut this off with a plasma cutter real quick before we put the transfer case on, and it's in our way. So spoiled with the right stuff. Do you normally smush it like this, or how do you find this stuff works best?
I leave it just like
You
that.
leave it just like a bead, big fat bead?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'll stop doing this. Oh, all right. Yeah. Getting the rear drive shaft bolted in. It looks like the transfer case linkage is gonna go right together. We don't want to jinx ourselves, but it's looking pretty promising that this has been a bolt together affair. We didn't have a starter for this, so we ran down and got a new Duralast one. Like David Lee Roth doing a backbend on stage here. Uh-oh. Wait.
No way.
Yeah. All right, well, we've hit our hiccup. Found our snag. The transmission pan on the 4L65 is too big to work with the CV on the front of this thing, so we're gonna have to run a regular 1310 U-joint at the transfer case. I've got a bunch of 1310 drive shafts at home. I'll bring one in. We'll cut it down to length to work. Let's gun this yoke off, count the splines, and see what we're dealing with. And I might have one on the shelf too. We can't use the yoke on the front of the T-case either because it's for CV. We need one that'll accept a U-bolt or a strap.
Ow.
That's the first one I've not been able to
That's
just
why I was like, ow.
gun off. Yeah, baby. Wow. That's some industrial grade Loctite in there. I would drive this thing like 100, 120 miles a day, just running kids around and stuff. Okay, is that 10 spline? Yeah, of course, 10 spline.
This is going to be part of the lower radiator hose. It's going to cross over underneath the engine. We're going to make a tab to mount this, probably where the pan is. This is 1.5 inch, 120 wall DOM. It doesn't have to be DOM. It can be welded, seamed, and it can be a thinner wall. This is just what we have here. But before we go ahead and put a bend in this, I'd really like to put this in the lathe and machine this down so that the hose has something to grab onto and that there's a lip here so that this doesn't slide off.
We put our Duralast Platinum AGM 34 series battery back in the vehicle. We're gonna start making battery cables. So we've already crimped this one. We're gonna start at negative. Once we run the negative, we wanna go directly to the engine block because the highest amp draw on any vehicle is when you hit the starter and the starter is grounded through the block. I do not suggest going to the cylinder head because then you're grounding the starter through the head gasket, which is never a good deal.
Good news, bad news on this tank. They use like every square inch to maximize capacity, but it also makes it a little tricky to get in, especially when you've got the fill-in vent hoses hooked up. Yeah, I'm not smart enough to do this with the transmission jack or something that make it easy. I'm used to working on my back in my driveway, so this is pretty normal for me. I'm in a shop with every accoutrement and every awesome tool. Old habits and stupidity die hard. Okay. Some milk bones and some bacon treats. This is a factory Quadra-Track CV front yoke. I thought since it's a Course 10 spline, it would be the same as a Spicer 18 or a Dana 20 front, but it's not. The actual yoke that you can use on the front of these if you ever find yourself in this situation is a Course spline Dana 44 front and rear from a Jeep or Scout. We got this from Holmes Fabrication. They had it in the scrap pile. They pulled it off a Dana 44 that's out there, and it's a perfect fit on the splines, and it's the right depth on the shafts. Now we just have to get a 1310 drive shaft made with a 1 inch diameter tube to clear the pan, and we should be good to engage four-wheel drive.
It doesn't even fit.
You gotta release the set screws. Hey, we can take the throttle body, chuck it up in the lathe.
Oh, I still got the other one.
What?
I'm doing it, dude. I'm looking for this air filter. I don't know what I did with it.
Oh, God. Let's in all the dirt and most of the rocks.
Yeah, most of the rocks.
We're gonna put a vacuum on this system here so we know that the cooling system is sealed. And then there's an attachment. This will go down into our coolant. We have an attachment that is a siphon vacuum, and it'll pull up to about 25 inches of mercury in here. We'll put this in the coolant. We'll open the valve and it'll fill itself, eliminating all air bubbles throughout the system. That way, when we're done with this, we don't have to use a burper, risk spilling fluid over, and we'll see a leak before we actually start the car, so we don't have to take everything apart again.
I'm gonna check fuel pressure.
Oh, I think they're flipped.
You think it shouldn't?
Yeah, well, listen to it. It deadheads.
When we hooked the fuel lines up to the Corvette regulator, we just flipped them, we think. And so the pump is deadheading and it's shutting itself down. So if we pop the lines off, the fuel lines, switch them, hopefully it'll fire.
All right.
Sounds good.
We're at 160. Kill it. It started really well.
That is awesome.
It hit.
You guys are all the best crew I've worked with in this 23 years. You guys are rad.
Means a lot.
That means a lot.
Appreciate it. You know, there's 3 different businesses here, you know, helping with this project, trying to get it done in
Heck yeah, yeah.
basically
Glad to have you.
4 days. We got exhaust and a drive shaft and some fluid checks.
We just mop it up.
Yeah.
So Wednesday night, hump day. It's a heck of a way to end. Actually, speaking of ending, you want to do the honors now that we know it runs?
I do. Yeah.
He's been waiting for this. It's giving him hives looking at the top of that.
I don't think I need that.
Oh yeah, now you can sleep easy tonight.
This is coup de grace.
All right, that's awesome. Shane's been building the exhaust for this thing out of a bunch of mandrel bends from Flowmaster. I realized I had a lot of extra space under here after we got rid of the factory fuel tank, so I went with the Flowmaster 70 series muffler. This one's gonna be a little quieter on the road, especially when you get in it. Family vehicle, you'll be able to hear the kids talking to you. We got these Radflow Smooth 2.0 shocks. This is 2-inch body, this is a 5/8 inch shaft. You can also get them with a 7/8 or a 1-inch shaft. We redid the upper mounts on these because the factory full-size Jeep mounts were a big 5/8 pin. We've got a 1/2-inch bolt through a piece of DOM tubing here.
It's gonna be a lake catcher.
That's it, truck's done. We finished a whole day early. We're gonna go take it for a ride. Corey really earned the right to have the first drive in it, so we're all gonna hop in. That quadrant track was like, what the hell just happened? Oh, you can totally jump the curb now. Come on.
I don't want to answer to your wife.
She'll find you. She'll track you down. That's the end of an epic 4 days here at Woods Off-Road with the help of Holmes Fabrication and Filthy Addictions Off-Road. I can't thank these guys enough. It's such an awesome feeling to have this vehicle that means so much to me and my family, reliable and ready to go tackle some awesome adventures. I'm gonna take this home tonight, enjoy it, shake it down for a while, because in the next episode, gonna get together with some buddies in their rigs, and we're gonna head out to the desert and have some fun.
No, we're gonna do a burnout.